What's going on YouTube? 0088 here. I'm here with my sisters Kemi and Dara, and we just came back from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
It was shit. It was shit. It was shit.
It wasn't shit.
You're hating on it too much.
Wait, calm down, calm down. Jeez, right, no, wait, man. Before we get into something, it was shit.
It wasn't shit.
It was shit. No, I'm joking. Now, basically, first of all, we're going to start off with how we feel about it.
How we think about it.
Before we spoil it, we're going to talk about how we feel, then we're going to just spoil everything. We'll give you a warning before we spoil everything, right? So, how did we feel? Let's start with... It was shit, Kemi.
It wasn't shit. It's a good film.
Good film.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Bits of it was good.
Bits of it was good. I was trying not to spoil it.
Yeah, but no. But seriously, it was just like the first one just seemed a bit more realistic, even though they're in a galaxy and all these strange things are happening. All this weird stuff.
More grounded.
It's very much more grounded. Like this one just took us to different kind of places, and it was just like,
but
that's
all right. That's the good stuff. That's all right, I think. Like,
but for me, it was just hard to get a handle on it. That's why.
The problem I had, I thought Guardians was okay. I couldn't figure out whether I disliked this film or I loved it, or not loved it. I disliked this film or I really liked the film, but I just felt like it was too, like they're trying too hard to be. I don't know what they're trying to do with this film. Like it just seemed like really.
But I think there was a lot more jokes in this. Like within every emotional scene, there had to be a joke at the end to try and break some sort of tension. But I don't know why they had to anyway.
Yeah, they didn't need to. The film was always trying to be funny all the time, and then there was a serious moment where there's like a lot of emotion and. It's actually really well acted emotional scenes. Probably more emotional scenes in the first film.
Yeah, that's what was painful.
And it was really good. I loved the scene, and they were done really well. Great acting.
I felt sad as well.
I felt sad. Kurt Russell, who plays Star-Lord, Peter Quill's dad, like he was really good in the emotional scenes as well. And then they just have these jokes that just get thrown in there, like right next to it. Didn't even get a chance for the scene to end. Sometimes within the emotional scene. Like, there's a part where... I think
there's probably only one scene where they didn't throw in a joke with it.
Gamora and Nebula. Yeah, you can say that. Gamora and Nebula had a good scene, and that's probably the one that they didn't throw jokes in it. There was a part in, I think if I'm thinking about the same scene you are, there was a part in that scene where it looked like they were going to start trying to make it funny, but they didn't. Like, it kind of just went...
Which scene are you thinking of?
Like, there's a bit, you know when they had the...
When they're hugging.
Oh, that, yeah. I was thinking of a completely different scene. That's why it's hard when you're trying not to spoil it. I was thinking of when they were fighting.
No, not that one.
Yeah, do you see what I was talking about in that scene? That was quite a serious, emotional scene. And it looked like they were going to turn, maybe it was a little bit of a joke.
That was really
it was good. Like, I love those kind of scenes where they're a little bit more serious. Like, we get it, like, the Marvel films have to have comedy in them, but this one seemed a bit almost cartoony. What did you say? You called it childish?
A little bit, yeah.
I felt like I was sitting there, I was thinking, this is childish a bit.
The funny thing is, I was like, I could imagine mums and dads taking their kids to see it, but I was like, nah, not with some of the language.
And it was really confusing because some of the jokes were really like, below the belt, crude, kind of dirty. And then at the same time, they're making the story and the atmosphere feel really, and the way the characters
like
all
Disney
bumbling,
almost.
Disney and childish. It was like a weird mix.
It was so weird.
Like, I don't know what the tone was, kind of all over the place. It felt a bit. I think
Peter Quill's kind of like a child in himself.
Yeah, he's like a child, but it doesn't mean everyone around him. Everyone around him should be childish as well, you know.
And I was really hoping when I was watching it and I was watching Peter Quill, I was like, okay, I understand why he's like that, but I just hope the rest of the film doesn't end up like how Peter Quill's acting.
Exactly.
But I didn't think the joke of Taserface or whatever his name is.
Yeah, if you guys remember, Taserface. Yeah, like, oh. I remember that. There was this scene.
That wasn't Aisha.
It wasn't Aisha, but it was some people though.
Yeah, people. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's this character called Taserface. I believe Taserface was in the first film as well. And Taserface was there was this long ongoing joke about his name being stupid or something like that. and they kept going on and on and on and about that joke, and then even the Sovereigns were making the joke along with like the rest of not with the Guardians, but they just found it funny as well. And it just seemed a bit silly, like, oh come on, like eye rolling.
That's the thing, I feel like when they grasp on like a decent joke, they just drag it out, and it's just like, can we just get on with the film, please? And
there was this really cool concept of the Sovereign as well, where they fight a certain way, but then they added like these silly noises to it, like these video game noises to it. And then, like, without me spoiling it, it sounds even worse probably. Like, they fight a certain way, but they added video games noises to it. I don't want to spoil what they were doing and the way they fight, which is kind of cool actually. But they made it...
It makes sense. It's a good way
to fight. A good way to fight. Really smart way to fight. But the video game noises just made it seem like you don't... like.
That would have been so epic if they just put some, I don't know, some like...
Yeah, if they didn't... They could have had the joke. They could if they really wanted that joke, they could have had like maybe one of the characters have a video game version of something. Right? Like, I can imagine that. Like one of the sillier characters of the Sovereigns could have their own little video game. Like they modded it to have video game noises or something like that because they thought it was cool. And all the other Sovereigns were like, "What the fuck is that?" Like, do you know what I mean? That might have been a bit better, but they made all of them like that. It made them seem a little bit less cool and serious, made them seem more silly.
It seemed like they were fighting for their people and fighting because these people, you know, at the end of the day, the piss was taken out of them and they didn't like it, and you know, it wasn't good. But then with that whole video game weird, I don't know, it was just weird. It made it seem like you didn't care about them. Yeah. They didn't care about them.
Yeah.
It's just like
I just lose all like, you know, focus. I just think, I just chill out, and then I just don't really take it seriously that much anymore, you know? Like, I want to take this...
Maybe that's what Marvel want to do. Maybe they don't want to take it seriously.
They don't want you to take it seriously. That's my next point. These films, before we go into spoilers now, these films, like, they're not for us. They're not for they're getting to the point where they're not... They used to be probably for us, but now it's getting so mainstream now that...
They're just trying to target a different audience.
No, they're trying to target, like, a big, massive audience.
So it's the other side of... People who are not comic book fans.
Yeah.
That's the reason for Baby Groot. Like,
yeah, Baby Groot and things like that.
They knew that it was going to get cash.
The comedy, like I'll give you a perfect example. When I was walking out, I could hear me feeling slightly disappointed and a bit weird, and then I could hear a lady talking behind me, and she was saying, "Oh, I really like this film. I think it was better than the first one." And she was all like, I liked how they kept it silly. They kept it silly. I like that, and you know, it made me just realise like these films aren't for us. They're for the general public, the people that be like, "Oh look, honey, it's one of those Marvel films. We can go watch that on the weekend if we're bored, if we're not doing anything. Yeah, just go. I like the first one of that. Which one is this? Iron Man in this one again? I can't remember. You know,
it's kind of weird because Guardians of the Galaxy, you can see if it's just them that's being funny.
But I don't know, Marvel, like, you know, let's just remember, like, everything's about money for these people, like, studios and stuff. And if Marvel get the inkling that, people love this silliness, they will probably not hesitate to make almost everyone silly if they get the right director to do it. Cause
I think that's what happened with the first film, like, you know, the concept of Drax and all that, and it was all funny. And they just intensified it, which I knew
they took it to an extra level. The Drax was quite good in this film.
Drax wasn't as bad as I thought he'd be.
Yeah.
There's only that one joke that you said.
Yeah, like you have to be these directors as well. It depends. The Russo brothers, I don't know. Maybe they're comic fans when they were younger, but they take this shit seriously. Like if you watch Winter Soldier and Civil War, the Russo brothers made Captain America like, you know, a boss in those films.
That's why I find it so hard. That's what made me
Could you imagine the Russo's version of Captain America interacting with, like, I don't even know, like Rocket and Drax, and just doing silly shit with them, and like everyone all going out, laughing like idiots, and then Tony Stark and Captain America just there like, what the fuck's going on?
Well, it's kind of like how people have that one friend in their group who's just stupid all the time, and that's
but it's not going to be one friend.
The problem is, it's like it's not one friend. It's like everyone in space right now. The only like avenue we have to the cosmic part of Marvel Cinematic Universe is the Guardians, and it's not just the Guardians, but Doctor Strange. Not really, but like everyone in space. As soon as the cosmic stuff happens, suddenly it just gets really silly. I understand why they're doing it. I understand why they're doing it. They're doing it so people can people can buy it. Like, you know, the general audience, you know, the people that go, oh, I like it, but they kept it silly. You know, those kind of people. They will buy all that crazy shit when they're not, when they
but
don't
listen,
take it seriously.
when it comes down to it, Thanos is in that space, and Thanos can't be joking around like that. Because if he does, I ain't watching no film.
Oh my, literally, I swear to God, if Thanos starts acting a bit silly and acts like a fool, I will get up and walk out of that cinema. I'll get up and walk out.
Get up and walk out. Please.
Like Catelyn Stark says, get up and walk out. I swear down. I will get up and walk out if Thanos starts acting like a fool. I swear down. But no.
No, you won't, man.
No, probably. Well, it depends. No, seriously, it depends how bad it is. Like, if they won't go that bad for me to want to walk out.
Oh no, I don't think it'll go bad.
But they will. I don't know. I don't know. It will be funny, but be funny in a smart way. Like, I don't know. You know when Darth Vader was like, don't choke on your own desires or whatever. Aspirations in Rogue One. Everyone went mad about that because he made one joke that actually kind of fit his character, because like he didn't laugh or he wasn't being silly. He just made like a kind of.
I don't think it was that bad.
Exactly, it wasn't that bad, but because Darth Vader is such a way, like everyone sees him in such a way, he can't even make like a sarcastic, you know, monotone joke. You know, the kind of jokes that really not depressed, but really like
it's almost like
dark
a joke
people, like a dark joke.
Yeah, a joke that kind of just makes you more scared of them in a way, because they don't usually joke.
If Thanos jokes like that, it's cool. But yeah, but like people were upset about that.
I can imagine Thanos. I can imagine Thanos saying like one-liners and saying things like that. But I don't know.
It would be weird.
But I do think that in this film, I was able to get past most of the jokes. Like, I don't know if maybe it's just my mind trying to block them. Yeah. But there were many scenes I did enjoy.
Yeah, there were a lot of good scenes. We should start talking about the good stuff now. There were a lot of good scenes. Like,
I actually thought it was like a decent film.
Like there was. Okay. That's what made me so confused, because there was a lot of good in it that I couldn't say. There was points where I was like, oh, this is a bad film. Like the intro with Baby Groot. It was all, like, I don't even know how to describe that without really spoiling it, but the Guardians were basically fighting the monster they were fighting this monster, but the camera was focused on Baby Groot, kind of like the opening credits scene, and you're just watching Baby Groot running around. Like, right now this sounds cool to you because, like, oh, that's pretty cool, clever way of showing it, like what Baby Groot's perspective.
The way it was done.
But he wasn't actually caring about the fight. Baby Groot was just like dancing to Peter Quill's music and just chilling out. And then the Guardians were like, Groot, what are you doing? Move out of the way, we're fighting. Gamora was like, oh, hi. And then she was like, what are you doing? Move, hi. And then Groot waves at her, and then they could carry on fighting. And it's just like,
I mean,
it went on for too long.
Okay, like if they did that, it would have been fine, but it was too long.
Yeah, it was too long, and it wasn't that funny.
At first I was smiling, I was like,
oh, he's done.
Yeah, he's dancing. Yeah, it's gone too long. Yeah, get in the film. And they did that quite a few times. They would get into a joke, and they'll just focus on that joke. It will just drag. They'll keep going on about it, and it was like, and then the character ended up saying something like, oh, don't you think we should be thinking about something more important, like the fight or something, or we should be? Is this what we should be discussing right now?
We're talking about this.
Yeah, I can't believe we're talking about this right now.
I can't believe.
And then we're sitting in the audience thinking, well, I can't believe you're talking about this either. Like, talk about the fight to get us into this fight. Like, why are you doing this fight? Let me care about you. Let me care about like your lives right now. Right now, you guys don't care about your life on the screen. So why am I caring about what you guys are doing? You know, you're just cracking. It seems like you're not even worried about dying right now. So why am I going to worry about you guys dying? So I'm just like, it feels a bit like a child's program. And you know what the fucked up thing is? Do you remember what the Guardians of the Galaxy were like in the Earth Mightiest Hero cartoon for kids? Do you remember?
I don't remember what they were like.
You don't remember?
Were they more serious?
Mate, I might put a clip on this reel. I'll put a clip.
Tony?
Michael Korvac. Tikla au chut bahan av chems a chut more vast. Either chut ran more chutla.
There's a tree and a raccoon scowling at us, man. Are we firing?
Who are you people?
And why can you weird aliens speak English now?
We are speaking mind to mind through the power of Adam Warlock's soul gem.
Okay, that probably didn't help explain things. Look, my name is Peter Quill. I'm the leader of the Guardians.
He's the Star-Lord. Respect him.
Rocket, we're an intergalactic peacekeeping force. We work together to keep the known galaxy stable.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Sort of like Space Avengers.
This is Quasar. Mr. Personality here is Rocket Raccoon. The big tree is Groot.
I am Groot.
Anytime there's an imbalance detected, thanks to Warlock here, we intervene and deal with the situation, whatever it may be. And in this case, it's Korvac.
If this is the kind of thing the Guardians deal with, then we should talk.
Yeah, I don't think so. There are things out there in the universe you're better off not knowing about.
I thought they were funny as well.
They were a little bit funny, but they weren't, like, Rocket was serious, quite serious, but Rocket's... Peter Quill was like, I'm Peter Quill, I'm the leader of the Guardians, and all this shit. It was like serious.
Yeah, but I think the reason for why this Peter Quill is like that is because of the person.
I don't mind him being funny. I don't mind the film version being funny, but like it's almost getting to a point where it's childish now. Like, and the cartoon version actually for kids is more adult. How does that make sense in this world? It's mad, but yeah, like we're supposed to be talking about the good stuff, aren't we? Like, I think in order to talk about good stuff, we have to get into spoilers.
Yeah. Like non-spoiler related.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh yeah, for people that are gonna cut off, yeah. Film. No, it's a good. It's
just those things.
It's not as good as the first one. It's not as good as the first one.
If you're a Marvel fan,
if you're a Marvel fan, you'll enjoy it, I believe.
Well, the only thing that bothered me was just the jokes where they're trying to cut the tension and it ruined a good emotional scene.
It ruined a good emotional scene.
That kind of bothered me.
They need to tone it down. I love the jokes. The jokes are fun, but they're not fun if you get them all the time. It's like ice cream. Ice cream's nice when you have it sparingly, but if you keep fucking eating it every 5 minutes, it gets fucking boring and sickly, doesn't it? Like all the chocolate and shit. You don't want that shit no more, man. You just want it like now and again where it's really nice, you know? That's how they should be doing a comedy, not fucking all the time. It gets boring, man. But I guess the general audience don't really... They don't sit on YouTube and watch all these theories about Marvel films like we do.
That's it. Like if you're a fan and you read about it and you get into it,
you read the comics.
The film
will kind of disappoint you a little bit, I think.
It would. Like, you have
but if you are just a casual person, you're just like, oh, the Guardians is on. Let's go watch it.
No, it can sound like stupid, but no. Even as I'm not a massive. Like I don't sit down and watch all of them. But for me,
you're bigger than most. You're a bigger fan than the general public.
Yeah.
Like a typical fan, like.
Yeah, but for the typical fan.
I don't know. It depends what people like.
I mean, just be expected to be a little bit
disappointed.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, but it's not as good as the first film. That's the best way I can say it. Now, let's get into spoilers, please. Spoilers.